In this video, we will look at 4 different ways in which you can create forecasts in Power BI. You can enter forecasts using a blank template or a form. You can generate forecasts from existing data. You can also create forecasts for future periods not defined or unavailable in your Power BI data model. Finally, I'll show you how to create an Excel-like monthly forecast tracker. Let us start with forecasting using a blank template. I have created a template for capturing quarterly forecasts by region and sub-region. Click on Insert, Data Input, Number, and insert a new empty series. This creates a visual level measure in Inforiver. This action populates the template with empty cells. Let's name this visual measure as Forecast 2024. And click on Create. Now we can start entering our forecasts. Double-click any cell and type in any value in the formula bar. Let us enter 10 million here. You can see the APAC values automatically roll up to the top. In addition, the values are also distributed equally across quarters. You can also add additional fields to your forecast template from the Data Input menu. For example, a user field where you can choose users from your organization, a drop-down field showing a list of values, a multi-line comments field to capture comments, and a date field to capture dates using a calendar picker. We have created a sales forecast using a blank template in Power BI. Now we can fill out the values for the other granular regions and assign other details to each row. As you can see, the data here can be entered by a single individual or by many individuals across the organization. In this second approach, I will show you how to create forecasts based on existing data. In this example, the firm already has created a forecast for the year 2023. It wants to incrementally update its forecast but doesn't want to overwrite the existing version of the forecast. To do this, click on Insert, Data Input, Number, Copy from another series, and select Forecast Version 1. This creates a visual level measure in Inforiver with a copy of the existing forecast. Let's name this visual measure as Forecast V2. And click Create. Now we can go ahead and edit the new forecast. Just double-click a cell and enter 11 million. As you can see, the new value automatically rolls up to the top, to the company level, and the whole year. You can continue to update your forecast like this. Leaving the older version of the forecast is helpful to run variance analysis. In this third approach, we need to enter forecasts for future periods that are not available in the data model. For example, this sales report has performance data for Jan and February 2024. Management wants to create monthly forecasts for the entire year. However, the future periods are either missing in the data model or are not being retrieved from the semantic layer. Inforiver helps you add future periods seamlessly to your report. To do this, click on Insert, Insert Forecast. Type in the measure name and select the forecast period you want to see in your report. Here we will select March 2024 to December 2024. Once a period is closed, we would like to overwrite the forecast data with actual performance data, so that the full year forecast is up to date. In our case, we will use values from the actuals measure to update the values in our new forecast measure for closed periods. And click Next. Now, automatically the target period is taken as the forecast period we have set earlier. In our case, it's March 2024 to December 2024. This is the period for which we want to create a forecast. You can create these columns with blank values or copy baseline data from another measure. In this case, we will leave it blank. Once you click Save, you will notice a new visual level measure, called Forecast. This measure is an exact copy of the values for closed periods of January and February, and blank values for future periods, from March to December. All the closed periods are grayed out and cannot be edited. You can now see a new Forecast tab in the toolbar at the top. Now you can start entering the forecast. Let's enter 105 million for March. By default, the values are distributed equally across all the regions and subregions. Let's allocate the budget amount of 105 million proportionally across geographies, based on their performance in February. This will distribute March forecast data based on February actuals. Similarly, we can add values and distribute the forecast for April to December 2024. In this example, Inforiver understands that January and February 2024 have elapsed or closed. Once we have March month actuals, we can decide when to declare the March period closed. To do this, click on Forecast, Manage, and edit the forecast measure. Click on Update Closed Period Range. This opens a new dialog box, where you can select the closing period. In our case, the closed period should be January 2024 to March 2024, and the remaining periods must be open. Click on Save. Now you can see that the March 2024 forecast will be grayed out and it cannot be edited. We have one more step left. We want the forecast for March 2024 to be automatically overwritten by the actual data whenever a period is closed. To do this, click on Manage and edit the forecast measure. Under Forecast Strategy, select the Rolling Forecast to overwrite forecasts with actual performance data for closed periods. Click on Update. Now you can see that the forecast for March mirrors the actual performance data. If you are using Inforiver Enterprise, you can automatically handle closing periods. To do this, go to the Forecast tab under Settings, and choose when you want the previous month to be considered closed. Note that this setting applies to all your reports. If you want to overwrite this for a specific report, open the Forecast tab in the front end. In this pane, you can override domain-specific settings for period closing just for this report. Finally, you can also create forecast templates that look like your monthly forecast trackers created in spreadsheets. We are in July, and as a result, actual performance data is not available for future periods. Note that Q1 is collapsed, and Q2 is expanded so that we can compare July performance data with its forecast as well as the prior month's performance. Inforiver allows you to format the report so that we can recreate the look and feel of a spreadsheet. We will highlight actuals for the past months in green. To highlight the current month, July, we can choose a distinct color, such as blue. This will help us identify the current active month. Similarly, the forecast columns can be highlighted in gray. Just as with Excel, you can double-click any cell and start editing it. Here, we are updating the forecast for EMEA in August to 20 million. This change automatically rolls up to the subtotals and grand total. The flexible formatting and data editing capabilities make maintaining such monthly trackers in Power BI a breeze. To summarize, we have explored 4 ways in which you can create forecasts in Power BI. We learned how to create forecasts using a blank template. We then explored how to create forecasts based on already existing baseline data. We also learned how to insert future periods not available in your report. And finally, we learned how to build Excel-like periodic forecast trackers. To learn more, visit inforiver.com/forecasting-Power BI.